Yesterday, Freddy Pepper was appointed manager of Montrose, and today is his first day on the job. So today I'm just going to take my time, get used to the facilities, meet the staff, get to know them. John Holt. John Holt and Jim Butler. They've been here for a while. John Holt and Jim Butler are a bit of a legend apparently here at Montrose, so it's good to have them here. They'll know the club, they'll know the locals, so I'm happy to have them on board. John Holt has a huge amount of experience within Scottish football. He used to play his whole career here, and he managed Montrose back in the 90s, and he was the caretaker manager for a few weeks before I was appointed, so I'm looking to John and to share his experience. Pepper joins Montrose after a string of defeats and draws have left them 10th in the table. My job as manager now is to get to know the team and to try my best to offer or achieve what Derek Sim wants from the club, and one of his big priorities is making sure that the youth players get a chance. Montrose has a very young team, so I need to get to know them as soon as possible to see if we can get this club off the bottom of the table, and I think we can achieve mid-table. Perhaps that's naivety on my part, but I think we can get there. So we'll see what happens. Thankfully, John knows the players pretty well. I've spoke to him about the captain and the vice captain. Currently, Paul Watson and Terry Masson, the captain and the vice captain. I don't think there's going to be any real reason to change that around. I think people are happy with Watson and Masson to be captain. I've been pretty lucky in that John has compiled a huge report for us to read, which details all the stats and the summaries, if you like, of Montrose over the course of the season. He reckons that they're most comfortable playing a 4-4-2, so I'll probably stick with that. Don't want to rock the boat. And it sort of fits in with what I like to use: wingers, people who can run with the ball. I think the only concern I have is that we'll have quite a small team. The goalkeeper, just on first impressions, the goalkeeper and the defenders all look pretty small, so I've got a few concerns about any crosses into the box. But I mean, that's just first impressions. I could be totally wrong. Other than that, I just need to get used to the team. I don't know any of the players. I don't know what they can offer, what they're best to deal with. So it's going to be a big learning experience. And being able to watch them play against Edingbrough City in the Cup tomorrow is going to be a big part of that. New manager Pepper sits in the stands as Montrose take on Edingbrough City in the Scottish Cup. John had set the team out in a basic 4-4-2. The two wingers were allowed to advance on, Webster and Ferguson. With Watson and Owens, the two centre mids, providing the cover for the defence, and it seemed to work well from what I saw in the stands. Webster and Ferguson seemed like a good pair of wingers, and as you just saw there, they linked up well to score that goal. McManus was the deep line forward. He dropped back and helped the midfield. I thought he did okay now and again at pulling the defenders away from Kerwin, the new lad. He'd only just been signed a couple of weeks before by John Holt. But it was good to watch. John had them playing some good football, using the wings wisely. It was quite promising. I was looking forward to getting on the training ground with these lads and working them, especially when you see goals like that. You know, a great crossing from the wing, and then Jack Kerwin just guides it into that far post. It's a lovely finish. Off the ball, I thought we did pretty well. You know, we kept the shape. We didn't panic. We played Kerwin in when we could, and for him to score 2 goals, I think in the second game he had played for, was a fantastic. To show him. The only real concern I had after the game was perhaps fitness-wise. The players looked absolutely knackered after an hour. They started to look really tired after an hour. So I think that's when I made the decision that I'd probably have to go and find a fitness coach and bring him in. This bitch here, I just wish he had struck it first time on his left. But I think that would come. A bit of composure and a bit of confidence to use his left foot will help Jack in the future. I don't think we did anything from any set plays all night. Corners or free kicks. A lot of the goals just came from wing play. And their only goal came from a set piece. Which was something I was sort of worried about, certainly on initial appearances, because we do have such a small defence, and the goalkeeper is pretty small for a goalkeeper too. But overall, I thought it was an alright game. Oh, it was absolutely great to get on the training pitch with the lads and see what they could do, to be honest. There's a good group of players here. There is a good group of players, quite confident on the ball, but they're young, very young. I think we've probably got the youngest team in the league. They're quite small because they're still growing. You know, that some of them are in their mid-teens, some are in their late teens, some of them are in their early 20s. We've only got 2 or 3 players who are over the age of 25 in this team, so perhaps we need to have a little look at that and bring in some leadership if we can. But overall, it was great to get on the training pitch and start working towards our next game. We're going to keep with the 4-4-2. We'll probably keep with the players that played in that game because they played so well. So we switched to a 4-3-3 despite thinking we'd play with a 4-4-2. Simply because that's what John thought would be best to play. He thought we could exploit them in the middle. With our full blacks overlapping. So that's what we looked to do. I think it took the players a little while to get used to it, as they switched from the 4-4-2 to the 4-3-3. We had some early pressure, as you can see here, but we just couldn't score. Harwood there just winning that header. He's one of the young players we have, Harwood. I think he'll become a very good player for us, but there is a lot of work to do with him at the moment. What we can see here is Berwick easily keeping the ball, passing it round with it, and I think that's part of the problem. I could see that in the last game as well. We don't tackle. We can't really tackle. We've got young lads and they don't seem to want to put in a tackle. Watson, on the other hand, he will, as will Owens. So there was just one long ball from Berwick, cut out our entire team, and our defenders couldn't really deal with it. And then again, another little ball over the top, and what we see here, Alan just pushed out the way, just nudged out the way, and that lets that easy pass and the easy tapping. So despite us having most of the pressure, Berwick claimed the first goal. Steves is one of the players, the left back there. Steves now on the ball. He's one of the players I quite like the look of. And I love that little pass from Williams. Just watch this. Bang! What a finish. What a finish. That's when I noticed Greame Owen, to be honest. That goal there. And I had a word with him in training beforehand. I found out he was a Cramlington lad, the local lad, not too far away from where I used to live. But yeah, I think the first impressions of the team now seem to be we're quite weak in the and physically weak. I've never been one about physicality, but I'm certainly noticing it here. Oh, what a calm finish that was by McManus. Cross was lovely. And just a calm little tackling. But we had made changes for those two goals. We let the fullbacks push on more because they were sitting deep to begin with. But as we can see here again, Berwick, loads of time on the ball, no real pressure. They just pass it around with it. It's lazy pressure, isn't it? It's just. And there's no physical presence to get them off the ball. They can just dribble around with it. I say that, and Steves puts in a fantastic tackle there. But he's probably my favourite player so far, Steves. Good little left back. Can get forward, put in a cross, puts in the tackle. But again, look, they just pass through it. And really, that should be a goal. So there's no real aggression, no real physicality. Harwood does well to cut that out, does well to pass it forwards. Milne, he's one of the young players that are coming through. I'm very keen to work with him and help him develop into what I believe is going to be a top forward for us. That's Miller. He's on loan. Great on one-on-ones. Great at coming out. Great at all of that. And I say this and they go and score. But again, a ball over the top. One long ball over the top. The centre-back, I think it was Allen, couldn't deal with it. And Berwick come in to make it 2-2. They've tied the game there at 2-2. There's Webster, another player I'm excited to work with, and now pushing forward is Masson. He came on for Pascazo. You can see the pressure that Berwick are putting on there. And if it wasn't for that great ball out wide and that great cross, it could easily have been 2-2. And Milne, that's his first ever goal for us. And what a goal that is. Then we were lucky just to see out the game, I think, at 3-2. But I was happy. First game in charge and we've won. We've scored 3 goals. Sure, we've conceded 2, but we've managed to score 3 goals. And I was happy with that because before now, Montrose have struggled to, if in doubt, kick it out. They've struggled to score goals. So to score 3 goals in my first game in charge and then to see them score 3 goals against Edingbrough City was something special. And of course, the best of the goals was Greame Owen's fantastic strike. I mean, I can't say enough about this goal. You know, just the build-up play in itself is fantastic. Steves and McManus linking up well. Owens playing it back out wide. The crossing for Steves could have been a bit better, but watch this. One touch, out of his feet, and smashes it into the top corner. If we get more goals like that from Owens from the midfield, then I'm going to be happy with that. Extremely happy.